So hello and welcome to the 26th episode of the Spotlight Podcast, the unofficial podcast for Century 21 sales representatives in Canada, where we discuss the hot topics and important news in the real estate industry. So I'm your host, Linas Kilius, and with me, as always, is Eryn Richardson.
Hi, Linus. How are you?
Pretty good, Eryn. How's it
Good.
going?
Excellent.
So Eryn is a broker and general manager of Century 21 Heritage Group. Eryn has an extensive background in online marketing, technology, and customer service. And I'm the head of business development at the real estate marketing company, Homeania. So on today's show, we're going to be talking about video content on the web. Video media has become increasingly popular all across the internet as it becomes easier and more accessible for people to create content. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and various other social media platforms are seeing drastic increases in the amount of video being created, produced, and consumed by the general public. So today we're going to be talking about creating your own video content and how you might be able to leverage this kind of content for real estate. But first, Eryn, how's your week been?
Week's been good. It's snowy and cold. Seemed to change flipped overnight, and nothing's come back. The nice weather hasn't come back yet. So, but it's been great around the office. You know, people are pretty relaxed right now. Slowed down a little bit in the industry. I think people are, kind of happy with that. So.
Well, the Santa Claus parades just happened last week or the week before. And as soon as that happens, I feel like everyone kind of goes into cruise control until Christmas. So maybe that's what's happening at your office then.
Well, I hope not. I hope everybody's getting out there and selling some houses.
Well, I'm sure they'll be doing that too, but getting into the Christmas spirit anyhow. But also, I know this is only for the video content people, but I notice there's some sort of prop in the back there, Eryn. What's that? Is that a roller coaster in the background I see?
Oh, gosh. Yeah. I brought that in. It's I don't know if you can see that. I'll just turn it and then turn it the other way.
Bear with us, audio listeners.
There you go. It's a roller coaster.
So Aaron's got a model roller coaster in the background for those of you can't see the video there.
There you go.
So what's the roller coaster about there, Eryn?
You know what? I thought it was pretty neat, first of all. And so I brought it in and put it in the back, and I'm going to call it the metaphor of the name of the roller coaster because it's a metaphor of real estate. It's a roller coaster out there. So I thought that would be pretty fitting.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm sure all the agents will agree with you as well, being in the industry and such, that it is such a roller coaster at times. All right. So why don't we jump right into it then? So video, why is it so prevalent all of a sudden? It seems like video is really overtaking the written word these days.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun. Video's fun. People like to see what's happening, engage. It's easier. It's, easy on the mind. And I think people like to hear and see what you're talking about rather than just having to read it. And it's quick, right?
It's
quick.
The TV lean back experience that everyone enjoys.
Sure.
You just, flick on the TV, like in this case, you press the play button, you sit back and you let someone do the talking. It's a little bit less, not that reading is very intensive or anything, but it's a little bit more relaxing, I guess, if you can just watch a video as opposed to having to read and scroll through content. So everyone seems to love that. And I just came across an article showing some Facebook stats for video recently, and people really are loving it because 8 billion video views per day on Facebook now. I think it was last year, so it's probably even higher than it is now. And that's about 1 view per day per person in the world, which is kind of crazy. But I mean, if you go to Facebook or any other social media sites these days, you scroll through your feeds, all you see is video content, and video content is performing so much better than anything with just a picture or no media at all. And there's a reason for that. And like we said, it's that lean back experience. Everyone likes to get that visual and the audio to go along with their content. So as an agent though, like when you're looking at all this video content, you're trying to figure out how you can leverage this for the real estate industry. Like how should you be going about this, Eryn? What do you think the best place to start is?
Well, the more eyeballs you can get in something that you're selling, and a lot of times you're selling yourself, the better chance that somebody's going to trust what you're saying. It's almost like anything put on. It's like the news. You just put something on the news and people automatically trust you on it. So you're on a video explaining something or showing a house, they're engaged, they're seeing it. It's a way to market and media. It's definitely a very, very forward-thinking and innovative technological forward, I guess, media that people are using nowadays.
So like if you're someone who's never done video though, like where do you start? Do you pick up your cell phone and start using your cell phone camera? Should you be like investing in like a decent webcam or a standalone like video recording device? Like what do you think is the best place to get started here?
I think people are finding that just, I mean, the cameras that are on your phone are decent. The video lighting, has a lot to do with it. But even the lower quality, on the go type messages that you can putting on Facebook just through your phone have been very effective in real estate. I think that, I think the consumer experience finds that with all this reality TV, they're used to it. So that's definitely, it can be done very cheap.
And is there an advantage in the marketplace too? Because I mean, the funny thing is, it's such a prevalent type of content, but not a ton of people are doing it yet. So is there some sort of advantage you can have if you do start creating video content now?
Yeah, I mean, people don't necessarily like to be in front of a camera, and puts people out of their comfort zone. So if you have the if you can get out and get online and you don't mind doing it, be brave and get out there and try something new. It does give you a huge advantage because there's not a lot of people that like doing it. So yeah, there is a huge advantage for people that are on video currently.
This is harkening back to my economics courses I think I took in like high school and university. Like it's a supply and demand thing, but in supply and demand, everything usually equals out, right? But the one thing that can kind of shift that supply and demand curve is if there's a big barrier to entry. And I guess that's what we have here. It's not a problem of accessibility. Everyone does have like a cell phone with a camera and such, but because there's so many agents that aren't willing to take that jump to create the content, and yet there's such a high demand for it, you've got this low supply, high demand situation where you can get extra value for the content that you make. I feel like that's kind of like the current situation. So, I mean, as a content creator, as both of us being content creators, I definitely suggest trying to overcome that initial fear or the hesitancy to kind of take the leap to create video content and try it out. Like when we started doing the Spotlight podcast, we had to make a couple of decisions. I mean, at first it was just trying to get ourselves to sit down on a weekly basis and produce the content. And when we first started to plan it, we kept pushing it back. It's such an easy thing to do. It's such an easy thing to put things off. But as soon as we sat down and started recording these on a regular basis, not only did we get into that regular rhythm, but they became easier every time. There's less prep work required, less thought that we had to put into each episode. We can almost do these off the cuff now. And I feel like as an agent, if you start getting into that rhythm, if you start trying to like force yourself to do this kind of content, maybe get yourself out of your comfort zone, you'll find it'll be easier every time you do it. And I think the rewards are definitely, beneficial here in this kind of industry, in this marketplace too.
So one of the fears that I find that people have, though, because it is the internet, is the information that you put out there is there forever. And if you say something wrong, or the fear of the information you provide, whether it be political, your opinions, or just statistical stuff that may be incorrect, you've got to be careful what you do put on there. And that's the fear that people do have as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's different ways you can go about it too. Like I maybe even if you're just starting in video content, you can always make sure that you don't record live. You could pre-record it and you can edit anything out. So if you're concerned about, being a little bit stuttery in front of the camera, or maybe saying the wrong thing in like a pressure situation, you can always pre-record it. You can cut out what you need to cut out, and there's a lot of simple video editors out there. Especially if you have a Mac, like iMovie comes right in, and that's like one of the easiest ones to use I've ever seen. But you can edit it, put it online, and you can make sure that you curate your content properly. That being said, though, there's a lot going on with live video feeds as well these days. And actually, talking about those Facebook stats I was talking about, people spend 3 times longer watching live video as opposed to pre-recorded video. I guess maybe people are waiting for that slip up, waiting to see what happens. There's that kind of thrill of live TV. You never know what's going to happen, right? So maybe that's part of it. But I don't know. Do you think like pre-recording is the way to go, and then maybe moving into live later, or do you think there's any value to live recordings as well?
Yeah, I'm actually more nervous about live recordings personally. I mean, you just don't know what's going to be said. You just don't know what's going to happen. So you got to be careful with that. And especially we're in our industry, this is our business that we hold dear to us. And one wrong thing said or something that happens, it could go viral, and maybe not for the right reasons. So you do have to be careful with the live stuff. But there's an advantage to people that can set it up and do it properly too.
Yeah. So what kind of content do you think an agent that maybe just starting to get into video content should be doing? Like, is there some specific spot you think is a good place for agents to get into? Maybe creating videos for like the community or about like the marketplace? Like where would you start if you were in your industry?
Consumers are looking for information. They're looking for you to be the source of the information, as a professional in the industry. The first source I would go to is any listings that you have, because people are looking for the information about that listing, and of course that's the product you're selling. So that's always a great topic to talk about what you're selling, and then the information about what is happening in the industry. And being more creative and more marketable is going to get more eyeballs on you too. So if you can talk about some of the hot topics and things that are happening in the industry, and you're interesting, then more people are going to want to watch your video.
And do you think keeping it like strictly to real estate content is kind of the way to go too, if you've got like say like a Facebook page or a YouTube channel set up, or do you want to kind of switch it up a little bit? I know one strategy with social media in general is some pretty prominent people say, okay, you only make sure 10% of your content is self-promotion. The rest of it is more just things that people will find interesting. I mean, that could work though for real estate as well. It could be, 9% of it's like community content. You're talking about the industry and stuff, so maybe 10% of it is more like self-promotion. I don't know. But is this something where you want to try and stick to one genre, do you think? You think sticking to real estate and kind of going that way is the best way to go? Or like,
I believe in being informative and entertaining as much as you can with regards to real estate, but being informed and staying on the topic of real estate, I think, is important. As soon as you start doing other things, it can show your personality, which is not a bad thing. I mean, people want to see who you are if they're going to maybe consider using you to sell their home, but you got to be very, very, very careful, because you're a professional in the industry, and people hire professionals. And if you're showing the video of, the cottage weekend and, jumping off a diving board and grabbing a beer or whatever it is that you're doing, you got to be careful, because it's not professional. And I'm not sure, people could argue on that fact, but I think that you keep it informative and professional, personally.
Yeah. I don't know what the right answer is too. I've seen both kind of approaches to it. So I just wanted to get your take on it there, see what you thought.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of agree actually too. I've seen also email marketing campaigns where people try and mix in a bit more, like just focus on real estate, but then there's the other side where they focus on like different ancillary topics as well. And my personal opinion, maybe it's just the demographic, maybe it's just what I'm interested in, but I do think that the real estate focus is the better way to go for it too. But again,
well, you're the brand, you're selling your brand. Coca-Cola isn't out there talking about the politics, right? They're not getting involved into.
I was wondering where you're going to go with that there.
I was thinking about different things here, but politics would be the best thing right now, because I see a lot of people on Facebook talking about whether or not that they're a Trump supporter or not a Trump supporter. And if you're not a Trump supporter, or if you are a Trump supporter, you're not saying anything. But you get into that whole political thing, and you just don't want to get into that. I mean, I believe one of the things that I see being taught in social media within real estate is to have a personal site and have a business site. As far as I'm concerned, you should have a business site. There is no personal site as far as I'm concerned. It's okay to put some stuff up there personally, but as soon as you start saying a personal site and say, oh yeah, it's okay to post all this other stuff. No, you're the brand. You're the brand, and most of your 80% of your business typically comes from your friends' sphere of influence. So it's the same people that are seeing the personal stuff or seeing the professional stuff, and they're trying to decide, is this the guy I hang out with on the weekend, or is this the guy that's selling my house? So I don't know. I like to keep it professional personally.
Yeah, for sure. And especially when we're talking about like getting into politics or something too, if you're alienating potentially, prospective clients and such, or your followers, that's never a good thing. I think personally, I mean, it's very impressive when people take political stances, but that's probably not the best platform to do it. Like you said, if you separate your personal and your business, it's probably the best way to go about this. And if you want to say like Trump is the worst person in the world, Trump's the best person in the world, maybe that's the best place to do it in your personal page, as opposed to your business profile, because that's a more secluded group of friends. And if you incite anger or like compassion in other people, that's probably the best place to do it. And like you said, keep it professional in your business page as well. So one other thing that I've come across quite a bit is prevalence of video in email campaigns. I actually got an email from you recently with a little video snippet on it too. So is this something that you think's a great idea? I mean, like you obviously started doing it yourself as well. I think for just sending to agents around the office as a manager, is that what you've been using it for? Or how can you see maybe using this for clients as well?
communication is one of the biggest things in any business, is to communicate with the people around you. So the agents within our office, I want to communicate what's happening this week. Often emails go unread, pages get, there's just too many happening. So I figure if I can turn it into something might be educational, informative, and entertaining through video, I might get some more communication happening within our own company. So once a week, I'll send out a weekly update. It was funny, in the first one I did, I said it was going to be a 5-minute, and I thought 5 minutes not very long. It ended up being 2 minutes, and I actually thought maybe 2 minutes was too long. So I talked to some people in the industry that do video for a living, and they said, "Oh, 2 minutes is way too long." And I'm like, "Really? Wow, this is interesting." They're saying, "Yeah, but a minute 15 or under a minute is what people want. They want it quick. They want it. They don't want to be sitting there watching a video for 2 to 5 minutes." And it surprised me, but I understood.
Yeah. Again, if people are going through your social media feeds too, you tend to quickly go through each video. You don't spend a long time on any specific one. I mean, I can see that 1 minute, 15 second being the sweet spot as a pretty good suggestion too. So that you're talking about using it amongst your office. What about for like your CRM type stuff too? Is this a good thing to use in email campaigns maybe?
Fantastic. The amount, I promote that email in general is about 30% effective, and I can prove that statistically. We have at the Century 21 CRM system the way of checking how many people have opened and read your emails, and I'm finding about 32% on good emails that have some real good content. Maybe 40% would be a great open rate. So if you put a video in it, you will probably see about a 30, 40, 50% open rate increase, because people are interested in it. They want to see what you're doing on camera.
And you see that big play button. Everyone wants to press the button, right, and see what happens.
That's right.
So,
yeah.
Have you used Bom Bom before? Because I know Bom Bom is a business benefits partner, I believe, with Century 21.
Yes.
So I see them almost at every conference that I go to that's Century 21 focused. So can you tell us a little bit about Bom Bom and how you can maybe use that to make this process a little bit easier then?
Yeah, Bom Bom takes the technology that is needed to send a video email and it makes it simple for you. For me to do a video email, I need to first of all do the video. I need to host it on a server, which is YouTube. Then I need to create a landing page, which is my website. I put the video on my website. I take a picture of my video. I put the video picture into my email, and then I put a link from the picture to go to my website. And that process, as you can see, and you're just listening to it, is going, whoa, how do you do all that? Like, and is it easy to do that? For somebody doing it all the time, it could be a matter of 5 minutes. But what Bom Bom does is it creates the server, it creates the picture, it does some really neat stuff in order to integrate it, and you don't have to do it. So yes, it makes it a lot easier for you to send a video email, and the content is obviously much more read if you're going to be doing anything with your sphere of influence.
Yeah, and you can just go to the website Bom Bom. It's BOMB.com. We'll put that in the show notes today. But there is a 14-day free trial for it, so you can always just try out and see how it goes too. Because I know, like we've already talked about, one of the biggest obstacles for agents, especially too, is because if you've never done this before, maybe you don't necessarily know what the steps are. Like Eryn just pointed out, there's quite a few steps to getting the video produced and put it out there and have it be consumable. So I mean, it's not a terribly complicated process, but it can be daunting, especially if you're not technologically inclined. And Bom Bom, their whole pitch is they make that whole side of it easy.
Correct.
So, and they also track, say, like, if you're saying it via email, they track who's opening it and everything too. So it's a good CRM system as well. So have you been recommending Bom Bom to agents and such? Do you know anyone around the office using this successfully, or anyone using video successfully at all?
Actually, I did my first weekly update this week. What do I call it? This week today is what I call it on Monday mornings. And I sent it out to the agents, and I got a video message returned from Lydia Ingalls in our office, and Lydia loves this technology stuff, so she sent a Bom Bom back to me. I thought it was pretty neat, and she said, "Oh, thank you very much for the video, and I'm using Bom Bom," and it was quite neat that she's right up on the technology. So people are using it. It's a way of getting people to open and communicate with you. I don't think it's going to replace all your emails. It takes a little bit of effort, and but it can be very effective. Yeah.
That'd be something if you used it to replace all your emails. If you're trying to set up a meeting with someone, you just record a video and you send it to them. I guess that would be a little bit overkill, eh?
And that's the other thing, is always overkill. I don't know if this weekly email is going to be the video one that I'm doing to get out to the agents is going to be overkill. Once a week, the 15th week, they might start saying, okay, I'm sick of seeing these these video emails from Eryn. I don't know. We're going to see how it works. It's fun to try it. I think that it can be effective. One of the other things I'd like to add on that is there is some really good opportunities when you're using video to get people's attention on your website. And one of the things you can use it for is some lead generation. If you have an offer or something to give them a value, you can get them to your website and then have just a little form on your website for more information, or if you're interested in selling, or if you're interested in buying, or you want to be put on the new prospect search collaborate system that we have. Anything like that, you can put a little contact me form on there, and they fill it out, and you got a lead, and then that's sent directly to you. So there's some good lead generation stuff with videos going forward.
Well, speaking of agent websites too and landing pages, what about I've seen a lot of agents do highly produced agent promotional videos. I mean, obviously you spend a little bit more money. You can't just do this yourself, but you hire maybe a production company to put together a little video interview. Maybe it's a little interview type style video or something that might be 30 seconds, a minute long, trying to explain who is Eryn Richardson, who is, who are you, and kind of go over your overview of yourself. Do you think that's a worthwhile investment? Is it something that people
I think it's huge. I don't think enough people have done it, because it's who's going to do that? How much is it going to cost? All the rest of it. So it's not readily available, but it's needed. So I think that that's an awesome opportunity for people to get their message out in a professional way. So I have talked to a few people that do it, and I'll give you sort of an idea of how much it would cost. So if you're shopping around and looking for somebody to do it, what's the value? The production company that I was talking to said on average, industry is sort of charging about $1,000 a minute. And remember, 1 minute is sometimes long enough. So, for $1,000 to do a quick promotional video for yourself, that can go a long way in social media and on your website, just to make yourself look really advanced in technology and get people to interact with you and know who you are even before they meet you.
Yeah, and I mean, it might sound like a lot, but they do quite a good post-production job on it. I mean, it's not just you sitting in front of the camera. You've got a full production staff basically working on your video to make it almost like that TV quality commercial spot too. And one thing I do want to say in general too, about, we're talking about all this video side of things too, but I've come across some videos that are absolutely horrible quality, just really either hokey or just not very professional looking. And one thing I definitely want to say is, okay, get in front of the camera, try it out, but just make sure it looks good, and maybe show it to a friend or two first before you post it online, because I've seen some of the worst garbage coming out of from some real estate agents, and it really can hurt your image and looks very unprofessional if you're putting stuff out there. And maybe that's one of the reasons that people do have this hesitancy to post video content, put video content out there, is because they're worried that might happen to them.
You're giving all the viewers a complex now.
I guess so. So
mine the horrible.
They're going to be so nervous when they get in front of the camera the first time. But in terms of more, what I'm saying is it's really poor quality, super grainy, low resolution. I've seen people have really bad slideshows with Comic Sans font, that cartoony looking font all over the place, and you're just ooh, just cringing to look at it. Or they're not speaking in you can tell it's very, very scripted, monotone, really bad. I can't even do it. It's just so bad. But anyways, what I'm getting at is maybe show it to some of your peers first and see what they think about what you're doing. And someone that will give you, that's not just a yes man, someone will give you some honest feedback. I'm sure 90% of people do fine. 95% of people, 99% of people do fine. It's just that just be careful and make sure it does look professional, because anything that you put out there, like Eryn said, it stays out there forever, and you want to make sure it's professional, not unprofessional looking, because it could do more harm than good.
Yeah, and sometimes the more effort you take to put together a video, and you say, well, I want to get some graphics and fonts and stuff like this, and some stuff that come up on the screen or something like that. Sometimes the most simple videos show the best, and it's just a quick, right from your phone, a quick message about the industry, and then that's it. You don't have to put any special effects into it, because leave that to the experts, and you just put the content out there. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I've seen some agent videos that have like almost like the 80s style infomercial stuff like overlaid on top of it too. And you're like, you probably could have just done without that, to be honest. Leave the 80s back in the 80s where it belongs. So, is there anything else you want to say before we kind of wrap up the show here? And we're getting closer to our half hour kind of sweet spot. So,
yeah, no, video's the wave of the future. So jump on board, give it a try. And if you are a little nervous or a little apprehensive at the beginning, maybe team up with somebody in the office to help each other out. One person holds the camera and the other person can do the dialogue. The other thing is, and I've looked into different experts in the industry and see what they talk about when they do video blogs and this sort of stuff. They often say the most effective is ones that you're not reading, you're not scripted. You go on, just talk naturally like we are today. There's nothing written down that I had today. So, I mean, sometimes that sort of stuff comes more natural than what Linas was saying, and being monotone and just reading off a piece of paper too. So just be yourself.
Yeah, that's the important thing. You're trying to develop your professional personality, right, online, and this is a good way to do it and get that face time with people before you even meet them face to face as well. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, so that's our show for today. So if you liked it, please subscribe to our show on Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play, or wherever you find your podcasts online. And please don't forget to leave us a 5-star review on those sites. You can watch this and past shows at spotlight.century21.ca/podcast. If you need to reach us, you can email us anytime at podcast@homeania.com. That's podcast at HOM as in Mary, EAN as in Nancy, IA.com. So this podcast was brought to you by the Spotlight Marketing Program, an exclusive marketing package available only to Century 21 agents in Canada. Spotlight provides agents with a comprehensive internet marketing strategy for their listings. We provide high-quality HDR photography, stunning HD video tours, a cutting-edge responsive website, and an extensive advertising system that helps sell your listings faster, sell them for more money, impress your clients, and generate leads. Find out why so many top agents are using Spotlight by visiting spotlight.century21.ca today. Thanks again, Eryn. Thanks everybody for watching. Have a great week.